Guys, if you fix this one thing, working to improve yourself is not going to feel like a drag anymore, especially if you do it long term. So this video will teach you how to train your mind to actually find fun in the things that you have to do. So first things first, you have to be aware that your dopamine is fucked. Why is it fucked? Is because more than likely you have been engaging in things that spike your dopamine on pretty much a daily basis, whatever that looks like. Whether it's playing video games, doom scrolling, hanging out with people and being unproductive, having useless friends that all you do is like party or just have fun with and, have a kickback with, watching movies, any form of lusts. All these things spike your dopamine, and what that does is your baseline dopamine is like elevated. That means you have to keep relying on those things to keep the dopamine expectation in your head high. So how does that affect your day-to-day life and your ability to lock in? It's very simple. You start to get to a task, whether it's going to the gym, meal prepping, working on your business, doing the homework. You start doing these things, you will notice that these things are fucking boring. And you cannot maintain focus. You cannot sustain the ability to stay focused on those things. And the only way to fix this is by reducing the amount of dopamine spikes that you get in your life. For the longest time, I used to struggle with this for a while. I mean, ever since I was a kid until I was like 17, I would engage in things like playing video games, watching shows, hanging out with useless friends that just have fun. All these things have kept me back from achieving what I wanted to achieve. And even to this day, when I do catch myself engaging in those things, I tend to just get bored of the things that I have to do. The non-negotiables that I have set for myself, I end up not completely doing them, or if I do them, I half-ass them. And what that does is it causes me to, have lower self-trust, lower confidence in myself. And every time I go through a phase like this, I just feel stuck and behind in life, which is probably where most people are. Sorry, not probably. People are fucking drifting through life, and that's just the reality. And that's why I made this video. This video will basically be 4 steps on how to break out of your current drifting lifestyle and actually start moving towards your purpose with ease and actually find fun in self-improvement. So the first step that I would go about this is you have to have a goal. Without a goal, without a North Star, you have no reason to change yourself. And you're gonna stay stuck in your shitty life forever. So it's important that you have a goal. And the less realistic the goal is, the more unrealistic the goal is, the better. That's because let's say you have a goal to save $10,000. And let's say you come up short of that goal and you only make $6,000. Would you rather have that situation, or would you rather make a goal of saving $1 million, which is pretty crazy, and you come up short from that goal and you fall short and you make $600,000? Which situation would you rather be in? There's absolutely nothing wrong with making a huge goal that fucking pretty much scares you. Like my goal, every time I think about it, I write it down every morning, and every time I think about my goal, I get almost overwhelmed, stressed. And that's a good thing, because that only sets you up to a higher standard. If you feel like that your goal is way too big, don't avoid that goal. Make sure to actually set that as your fucking goal, because having a goal too low is not going to get you motivated to start changing your lifestyle for it. Set small goals and you'll take smaller action. Like my personal goal, I'm not even going to share because it sounds so ridiculous. It's almost unachievable, but it's a goal that I have set for myself, and every time I get reminded of that goal, it makes me overwhelmed. It makes me feel like I have to do so much, and that's a great thing. I get held to a higher standard. But anyways, this leads me to the next step, and that is think about what an average day looks like for you and ask yourself, is everything that I'm doing in that day gonna lead me to that goal 10 years down the line? And more than likely for most of us, it's a no. When you set a goal so big, it's gonna require you to put in effort towards it every single day that you're alive. The third step is flag the bad habits of that average day. So think of the average day that you're having and be aware of every single thing that you're doing that's not aligned with your goal. Something that is a filler. That could be hanging out with your friends, that could be drinking, that could be playing video games, that could be watching movies, that could be doom scrolling. It could be anything that's not aligned with your goal. And my point is not to cut out all these things, but simply be aware of the things that are holding you back. And now that you know all the bad habits that you've been doing, also make a list of the good habits that are required in order for you to be aligned with your goal. So have a list of all the things that are holding you back that you're currently doing, and have a list of new habits that are aligned with your goal to try to replace the bad habits. And this is a process that shouldn't be done within a short amount of time. This is not something that should be done tomorrow or the next week. This is a very slow process. Try to take out one habit at a time. Like, find one bad habit that you're doing throughout your day and replace that with a good deed. And once that becomes habitual, move on to the next habit, then the next, then the next, until you have a full productive day that you're actually doing. And try to stick to that lifestyle for as long as possible. And this right here is the secret to get whatever the fuck you want out of life. Now, this will be such a messy process if you don't do the next step, which is planning out your day. And there's multiple ways to do this. For me, I personally use Google Calendar, where I literally add an activity for every hour of the day to where it's stacked and I know exactly what I need to do. My phone notifies me of what I need to do in the next 30 minutes, and I try my best to stick to that schedule. Now, another good way, if that doesn't work, another really good way that I have done before and really works well is you don't have to plan out your day. Just make a list ranked from top priority to lowest priority, things that need to be done. It can be as big as you want, and do that at night. And when you wake up, start with the most important task, then move on to the next one whenever you have a chance. I know you have a life and you have a job and you have whatever it is that you got to do, but when you do have the free time, try to prioritize those things over others. I think that's one of the smartest ways to go about it. But for me, I like to work with actually planning out my day on Google Calendar, just so it sends me the notification and I have an idea of what my day looks like. Now, pro tip, and I got this from the book Atomic Habits. It's a really great book that's literally about what I'm talking about right now and how I know a lot of this and how I've implemented it. As soon as I read that book, it just changed my life and it led me to having just a genuinely better life. So anyways, there's something in that book called habit stacking. Now, it explains it one way in the book, but the way I want to explain it is basically every habit that you need to do need to be easy to get to from the previous habit. Like, I'll give you an example. When I first wake up in the morning, I go down on my knees and I pray, and then I go eat. Instead of waking up, going downstairs to eat, and then come back to my room to pray. Does that make sense? Like, it needs to be on your way. Like, when I first wake up, all I have to do is get down on my knees and I start praying. That's just what I like to do to remind myself to be grateful and remind myself of my goals and what I need to work on and whatnot. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Then I go downstairs and, I don't eat my meal. I actually do my cardio, like fasted cardio in the garage. And then instead of going back up to take a shower, since I'm downstairs already, I will go eat my meal and then go upstairs to take a shower. And then I change and then I start getting to work because I'm back on my desk. You see how that like just flows? I don't wake up and then do my cardio and then go back upstairs to shower. Like, that's just like, it's making me go up and downstairs for no reason. That's my best example that I could give, honestly. So just make sure your habits are like, it just makes sense to do them one after another. I highly recommend reading the book Atomic Habits because I suck at explaining this, but hopefully that gave you some clarity. And honestly, once you start living like this and get into it, you start wanting to perfect this type of lifestyle and trying to maximize the productive things that actually match your goals, trying to maximize the amount of things that you do that are aligned with your goal. Once you start to do that, you start to kind of ridicule the other shit that you used to do. Like, for example, if you're hanging out with, people that aren't as driven as you are, you're gonna start to see that and you're just gonna like automatically just distancing yourself without being being weird about it. You just genuinely have a different lifestyle than everybody else is, that it just doesn't make sense to hang out with those people or even do those other things. You're gonna start getting obsessed with trying to improve your physique, improve your money situation, improve like the lifestyle of the people around you. You're just gonna get addicted to just trying to life max, basically. Now, obviously, this is just the foundation to build the habits, to set yourself up to have a mindset of a self-improvement driven lifestyle, but by no means this will be an easy process at all. Like, no matter how consistent you get, there will always be whatever you want to call it. There will always be the devil, the negative energy in the universe. Something is gonna fucking try to drag you out of your lane and try to distract you and bring you back down. There will always be something or someone that will try to attract you away from your goal. And I feel like the best way to go about it is just simply start reading books. Like, I have learned so much through just reading. And I don't mean you have to read like all day and actually waste your time and take time away from the things you need to be doing, because I never do that. It's just part of my night routine. Like 1 hour before I go to bed, I stay off of my phone in order to have an actually good sleep quality. And what helps me actually stay off of my phone is just I've been on a reading streak of self-improvement books, and there's just so much I learned of how to actually like live life to the fullest. And honestly, the biggest takeaway is being comfortable is not the way to live. Being average is not the way to live. And I will leave it at that for this video. I will 100% start posting more of these longer form YouTube videos. I am definitely starting to make this a habit. And the more videos I'll have, the more of the other ideas and things that I know I will get into. But for right now, I'd appreciate you if you drop a comment of just more things that you want to see out of me for these longer form YouTube videos. And I think very quickly I will be getting better in these YouTube videos. And by the way, I made a full step-by-step guide on how to completely transform your body in under 180 days. Busy man friendly. If you want to go check out that YouTube video, it's going to be linked in the description. And I think it's a big help if you have fitness goals that you want to achieve in the next 6 months. If you want to completely become a different person, that video is definitely for you. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.